Hello and welcome back to the channel. My name is Krashy, and today this is going to be a bit of an experiment to do like a VOD review slash watch one of my games back using the replay tool. So I'm not super familiar with the controls, but today I'm playing some jungle Shinbi, and if I remember correctly in this game, I should be playing like the tanky Bruiser jungle Shinbi build. So it gives us an opportunity to kind of talk about that and just to see how this game goes. So I'm going to do my best to control this, and we're going to watch this and you know, maybe pause and look at certain situations and things. But yeah, this is where I'm at. So I show that I'm on my red side, and I'm playing against a Kalari. So I think maybe they'll invade my red. So I dump a ward at like 103, go back, buy the sentries, and then I instantly run over to my blue side jungle. So I might have actually done this a little slow on this one, or the timing is looking good. So you can see, yeah, the timing actually looks pretty good. So I get here 123, got a second to spare, and then we go straight into our jungle. So you can look at the top of the UI and kind of pay attention to the team composition. So our team has no traditional tank, and their team has a Richter. So I'm kind of like thinking about what do I want my build to be this game, and that's really kind of how you decide, or how I decide my Shinbi build based on team composition and what I think I need to accomplish, which is why I decide to go with like a Bruiser build. The Occult Crest on Shinbi for, say, I would say like Obelisk or Tempest feels pretty good to me. I really like Tempest on her, so I would probably pick that up either which way. But yeah, you definitely want to have like an idea of what you want your team comp to be going into a match. So the beauty of this is that I can actually see the enemy jungler farming, which I really like, because I can kind of like pay attention to it, and it gives me like a little bit of information even though they're not actually on the map. So I can kind of pay attention to that. So I'm doing a full 3 camp clear. I'm going to use my second smite here. So we're just like full clearing our blue side jungle. This will give us our level 3, and yeah, we'll see about that. About after this, what do I decide to do? Shinbi, very hyper farm focused kind of hero. Like she can just farm so well. So I don't often tend to show up to like the 3-minute river camps, but sweeping here just to see if the mid laner does see me or not. Sometimes I will, sometimes I won't. It just depends. And I actually find a ward here, so I'm gonna go ahead and kill this ward. I know that the Bellica knows that I'm here now, and I might look to influence her health bar a little bit because it is super close to that 3-minute mark. And since it's so close to that 3-minute mark, I actually can go for the river buff. So I don't always go for river buffs on Shinbi, but just based on the game, I was able to do so. So hopefully the Gideon will go for the other one, and now I'm back in on my red side jungle. So let's see. Okay, so again, I can see the Kalari. It looks like Kalari's on blue, and Kalari might actually just be a little bit ahead of me in farm. I wonder if I can see that. 16 to my 17. No, I mean, I don't know. It's hard to, yeah, it's hard to say. I don't know what the spectator mode will and won't show me, but I think we're probably pretty even on farm. So he's doing his, like they're doing their blue side, I'm doing my red side, and we're pretty simple, or pretty close in farm. All right, so just clearing my camp. And let me know what you think about this kind of video, because like I said, in certain fights I can always like change the camera angle and go drone and pay attention to things and pause things, but I'm kind of just giving this a shot as opposed to just like showing back the gameplay itself. We have this more of the spectator view, which for now I'm just doing the hero chase. But yeah, finishing my red side. And again, big focus for Shinbi for me is just like hard farming. Like you can get a great amount of farm in. Her early gank presence is not super high anyway, so I actually think that's why she kind of like suffers a little bit as a jungler, because her gank presence isn't super high until she gets her ultimate. So that way she can dive in and put a lot of pressure and then potentially clean up or get the last hit with her ultimate. But sweeping here, I like to sweep towards the top of that stairs so I can cover a lot more area. And this guy drops a ward in front of me, so you know, I'll just go ahead and take that value. Murdoch's not paying attention. You can instantly read that, right? Not paying attention, and we burn the flash. So not bad, right? Like instantly not bad. We burn the flash, and I'm gonna run back into jungle, see if he like rewarded whenever I left. So I was kind of sweeping to see if he dropped a second ward down, and I'm trying to debate how patient they're gonna be, right? But it looks like, you know, I don't want to wait around too long. By circumstance, I happen to be hanging around the river for a river buff that's coming up 5 minutes, so you're going to see me hang here for a second. And I love when players do this. I love when players just drop down on me, right? And we burn the flash. So same thing. I considered flashing there, but I was like, I don't really have anything. Gideon's going to go for the other river buff, and that's pretty good. So now we see Kalari in red side jungle. I'm looking to be a little bit aggressive this game, and I was thinking about maybe ganking the off lane, but it's Richter, and like given that state, okay, so I see that he warded, I don't have a sweeper, so I can't go for it. Given that he warded, I'm just gonna go farm, right? Same old. Like I said, I'm just gonna keep farming, keep myself getting stronger. If I do finish like either this camp or my blue side, I'll be able to go back in and start buying some decent components. So you don't want to stay on the field too long. Keep that in mind. Whenever you're jungling, the longer you stay on the field, like if you're Chimera, you're Shinbi, you're someone that can stay in jungle. It's not always the best thing to do that, because if you do stay in jungle, you're not getting any stronger. So like if I press tab and I look at the Kalari's build, the Kalari has a Hone Chris, right? If I run into Kalari, well then I'm gonna run into a character that has items and has damage, and I don't yet. And also I do remember this game now, the Kalari was very farm heavy, which is very unique for Kalari players. Usually Kalari players are like, you go for a camp and you go for a gank, you go for a camp, go for a gank. So I wanted to see if this person was gonna stick around. They didn't, so I'm just gonna go ahead and wipe out both their wards that I knew were there because I watched them. So getting a little value out of my sweeper here to just go ahead and wipe out these wards. So, and again, this is one of those games where honestly, like, I'm even uncomfortable with how long I'm staying on field. I'm searching for a little bit of information, but I've been on field for a really long time and I haven't bought yet. So you know, running into Kalari would not be the best. So I'm looking for potential like counter farming or like, you know, invading and stealing jungle, but I'm not really going to find a whole lot here. Maybe looking to pressure the Bellica right before the 7 minutes, because if I can do that, again, I can pressure her health bar and then I can shove her off of the farm. But Gideon goes in. It was actually just right as the 7 minutes were coming up, so I wasn't able to help. But I went ahead and grabbed that. And again, I do think that I'm staying on field way too long this game. I'm going to go ahead and grab the other river buff probably. Actually, I think I ping it. I turn and ping it for him because I'd rather him actually get it. And again, being a little aggressive, I can see the Kalari here. And I get spotted by the Bellica, so I have to run out. But again, this is me like making decisions as if I've bought, and I'm really like looking back at it, I think a lot of this is mistakes because I haven't bought yet. Even if I did get into a fight or try to contest some farm, I'm just like sitting on way too much gold to have gotten a good amount of value from my my presence. So I'm gonna continue farming a little bit. Again, if you do what I'm doing, I think it's fine as long as you don't waste time like I've done, and just actually like heavy farm. But I really do need to go buy soon. So let's say I'm just being a little bit negligent with my timing, right? So I'm going to go ahead and back, finally. The red buff's going to come back up, so I'm thinking to myself, you know what, I'll just come back out because I need to buy. But I'm getting close to my level 6, which is nice, right? So, all right, let's take a look. What did I buy? So I think I'm going straight into World Breaker on this one. Yep, going straight into World Breaker. I buy the Void Crystal and a Vitality Bead. So I'm definitely going like the tanky bruisery build and trying to see if I can make that work, make it fit our team comp, because we don't have like a traditional tank on our team. We're going to have like probably a little bit of front line with Crunch, some shields from the Muriel, and then myself, I'll be able to kind of play like pseudo front line with my build as well. So, all right. This will get us our level 6. The Kalari's probably getting close to level 6 as well. And it's been a pretty passive game, you know, like a lot of farming. I think me and the Kalari, like I said, have been kind of hyper farming this game. So we're probably both getting close to our wild hunts, although we don't have it. Working our way towards our first item, and then just not like a lot of kills so far. Our AD carry on this game was doing really well. They're 2-1, so that lane is like being influenced well on its own. And yeah, not bad. Okay, so this is a fun gank that I like to do. It's only whenever you know that the lane can't see you, you go like under and around right here. This gank is kind of hard to accomplish because a lot of the time they just see you doing this and you gank from the outside wall. This is it's a gank that I get off of really, really rarely, but I love when I do it, and you're gonna see it's just so easy. So she kind of engages with her body, and it just gives me like a free opportunity to just go in and go ahead and clean him up. So nice kill there. I think I get that kill. Yeah, I did. So once I hit the fog wall, I just go ahead and start sweeping because you never know if they've got normal vision. I didn't come from that direction, so I might as well sweep and look for wards. I scan all the way from fog wall to fog wall to cover as much ground as possible. And also with the sentry changes, you have a little bit less time, so that's kind of just like the best way to use the time if you're going in that direction. But back into the jungle again, we can see the Kalari farming. So you know, I have noticed this game that the Kalari is just not hitting lanes much. Like I can see them not hitting the lanes a ton, and so it gives me the opportunity to kind of recognize that they're being farm heavy, and like I now that I have my ultimate can start ganking either a little bit more, or I can also stay farm heavy. Neither one of us have our hunts yet, unless this is a visual bug. I don't think so though. Neither one of us have the hunt just yet, so you have to know that I'm probably pressing control and looking for it and seeing how much farm I need. So if I do play a character like Shinbi, I don't often tend to not full clear. I think that this is a gold purchase here. So I have like 1200. I don't remember the build path, but yeah, okay, it's a gold purchase. Like it's essentially like I could have full cleared my side, but I don't really need to, and Fangtooth is up, so since I could afford my World Breaker, I just went straight to base, bought the World Breaker, and come straight back out. So now I can see that the Kallari has their wild hunt, and I do remember this. I needed 5 camps, so instead of finishing the 4 camp on my blue side, I base, buy my World Breaker, come get the 5, and now I'm gonna have my wild hunt. I remember this now, so let's watch my wild hunt. Boom, there, it's upgraded. So now I have my wild hunt. You know, I've got a full completed item. Like, things are starting to go well. And again, my same sweeper that I use. I really like that sweeper where you kind of start it like close to the stairs and then you run it into like a fog wall, run it into the pit. Just starting to pay a little bit of attention, see who's where. And I think I saw her place this ward. I remember seeing them place that ward. So yeah, go ahead and sweep that one down. And Richter a little bit out of position. We can chase up here. So just catching out the Richter. And this is where they actually rotate into Richter, so I got to be a little bit careful here. I get thunked. I'm going to go on ahead and flash out. Our Gideon's ult is in, but I do have to play this a little bit consistently, or like safely. And so I'm just going to run out. So I took a little bit of damage for jumping straight into the thunk, and they have a lot more numbers than I was prepared for. So I'm just going to run out, and we'll probably get a reset in. But this is buying our crunch some time to be aggressive, right? So it's really not all that bad. And then Kallari got executed somehow. I don't know if they were just doing the Fangtooth, but yeah, Kallari gets executed. All right, so we're back in the base. What are we working on? We should be working on probably Tainted Guard. Yep, so we build a tunic. I'm going to go straight into double Tainteds here, so kind of building like a traditional tank setup, playing off the World Breaker to bring myself a little bit of damage. And I think in this position, I can't tell if they're on Fangtooth or not, so I'm going to go check it. So sometimes you have the opportunity to just run straight back in the jungle and start farming. Again, doing my same sweeper that you see me do often, but I see that they're not on it. I'm going to go ahead and let this sweeper work for me, so see if there's any wards around. And there is 13-minute river buff, but again, I'm just using this sweeper trying to get some value out of this. So being patient. I saw him step in. I'm kind of paying attention to him. So like right hand peeking him, and now I can get some good damage on this player. Get some good damage on them. Boom, nice kill. And I think with our positioning, that should give us the Fangtooth. So we're currently 2-0. We're starting the Fangtooth. I hate that the spectator mode can't show me the health of it, but I do know that Kallari is around. So with Kallari coming in, we actually smited. Okay, I was gonna say, I wasn't sure. Sometimes I get smite stolen against, it's definitely for sure. I popped my ult, but I didn't have enough stacks on, but we go ahead and jump through the Gideon portal and take him down. So all right, kiting out from the Murdoch here a little bit, making sure he's not chasing me. So I'm a little bit low here, and I think my team kind of overstays in this fight and gets taken down. So, but I'm just too low to stick around, so I'm not going to do that. So my teammates get taken down, which makes me use a smite here because I really don't want to be here too long. And you can see the Richter shows, and I just yeet out of here. Like, I can't. There's not really much I have to offer. I just need to get out. I'm kind of peeking around, and I'm thinking, okay, I don't see the Richter regressing anymore. I can just go for my farm. Sitting on a decent amount of gold. My blue side is fully up. I still have a little of this red side jungle. I don't have any hunt charges. I don't think that the Kallari is going to go for like a mini prime or anything, but I do also think like being on that side of the map is not terrible. So let's go ahead and see what I buy. I should, like I said, should be building into the Tainted Guard. We get the Horned Plate. We're 92 CS to the Kallari's 94. So like I said, this Kallari was a very farm heavy player. And you can see me. Oh, what I actually do this game is I split my defenses a little bit. So they're actually doing like pretty evenly across the board, like with how well they're doing. So I'm actually, and I don't know if I like this decision or not. I need to think about it some from like a gold efficiency standpoint. But I actually buy the horned plate and the lockshaw, then I build the full items. So like I said, I'm not 100% sure if I actually like that play, and I probably don't, since this is just an armor item and it doesn't come with any health because I'm building World Breaker. So probably just full completing one item might be better, but it's something that I was like messing around with. We're gonna try sweep for a ward here, see if I can get to the Richter. I was gonna see if he would like hard engage. The funny thing is I don't actually know the Kalari's here, so I step away and then I turn back and see the Kalari, and I kind of go back in. So since I saw the Kalari, I'm debating whether or not I can like do a whole lot here. I want to be patient. Was waiting to see if the Kalari would step back into my vision because I couldn't see the Kalari. So with the Kalari hanging there, I go on the Richter because that's where I know, and I see that the Kalari is just getting dominated. I actually steal the kill, which is like not my intention, but it'd be like that. All right, so we're just fighting, trying to take him down. I was gonna try to make sure he doesn't kill the Crunch, and because I think I got both of those kills, I try to give the green to the Crunch because the Crunch could use it more than me for sure. Like I don't need to take everything. All right, and I'm gonna just yoink out of here, step out of here. Let's see, maybe I go for a mini prime play here. Looks like I do. All right, going for the mini prime. So same old mechanics. You have the knockback into the ground slam. So make sure you dodge the knockback and then don't stand in the flame path, right? Those like purple flames. So same thing, knockback into the slam, get out of the fire path, and we just grab this. This might actually take a little bit because I don't think this build like shreds objectives very fast. If you're a Megacosm, shouldn't be. This is a little bit faster, but it's not the fastest. All right, so we get the orb prime, and I think that my teammates die in the duo lane double kill, so not the best situation to be in. Like I said, I finished the Lockshaw, and now I'm building in toward whichever item I decide to buy. I think I'm gonna go ahead and probably build the Tainted Guard first because they have a couple of ADs that are doing well, but I am going to finish that Bastion at some point. So the Kalari's doing my camp here. We kind of dive in on her, we get some of my camp back, and kind of go from there. But I can knock out this ward that I just saw him place as he was running out, and hopefully we can kind of pull this together because it's a pretty even game at this point. So I didn't see the Kalari. Kalari was in stealth. I come in behind the Bellica. I just flash in on the Bellica, which actually gets me to dodge the Q, which is super nice. And I am just like in on this fight. Pop my ult on the Bellica and then chase down the Shinbi. I don't think I get this kill, sadly. I'm super close to a second Q, but I just don't get it. I see the Narbash Richter coming behind me, so I'm just kind of kiting away. And this is a hook dodge. I anticipate the hook. He flashes over at me, and I just dash out. My teammates actually were responding, which I think I missed, because I probably could have just turned and fought. But I'm a little low on mana, so this is kind of just like a, hey, let's get out of here, let's poke a little bit situation, and let's not overstay. So when you're being chased by a character that you know has a certain type of CC, you just kind of have to feel it. And, like, I knew the Richter was behind me. I knew he was within range. And so I just kind of feel like, okay, if I'm Richter, I'm going to try to hook now. So you just sidestep, right? And if it's same thing with Narbash, okay, he's going to try to thunk me now. Side slash. When you hear Rampage pull his rock, you hear that. Next thing you know, it's like, I know it's coming. Sidestep, right? So it's like, it just kind of comes with experience, and you get used to like feeling out when the CC is coming your way, and you can kind of go from there. All right, so my teammates started Fangtooth. I did finish my Tainted Guard, so now you can see I'm building some of this health into the World Breaker. So I have good defenses. The Kalari's in here, so I want to focus the Kalari. I remember thinking I wanted to focus the Kalari, but it actually burned down really fast, so I gave him the smite on that one, so I knew that was going to happen this game at some point. We just go ahead and focus down that target and get knocked up sadly, so can't finish the Kalari. I don't have enough ult stacks on him, or maybe even any ult stacks on it to pop my ult, but so yeah, unfortunately we do trade one kill for the objective, so not my best moment. It's funny, you have to really like focus on the health of the objective, but you also need to like focus on where the enemy jungler is and the smite's at. So it was burning a little bit faster than I anticipated. I probably should have just ignored it. Now this situation, I try to steal the red buff. I think I do get it, but I'm in like a pretty tough situation here. So I'm just trying to kite and dance around. My teammate's helping me out some, and the Kalari is like all over me, so I'm not going to stick around. So unfortunately, I died there. And let's see how I can maneuver this. Who can I swap to for the time being? We'll wait for me to come back. So they rotate out. So sometimes I get a little aggressive. I go for some deep plays. It's not always the best thing. That could have turned out well for me, but it didn't. So it didn't. So we'll just stick around for Gideon for a little bit so we have some like game state context, and then I'll come back out on field here in a bit. Respawning in 5 seconds. Let's see if I've been able to buy anything. Just working more into the Lockshaw, working on the Bastion. And all right, I'm back up. So I'm back up now. Let's see how we're doing. Let's just look at the game state. 123 farm to 127. Pretty consistent. 6-1, doing decently well. Some of my teammates are struggling a little bit, but we're kind of like hanging in there. And I'm just kind of like pinching in towards mid because I see some of these players. So I see the Richter going for this, and I mean, this is just free kill for me, right? Like, I'm just all over this player. Nothing they can do. I was kind of like sidestepping body to body on him because I thought that he might try to like hook me. And I look at the wave state, right? So I look at the state of the offlane, and I think to myself, Richter was their offlaner. If I just killed Richter, there's probably not going to be anybody that can respond to this push. So I'm going to go respond to this push myself. Watch what happens next. So I'm pushing this lane myself, and then the Kalari dies. So the jungler and the offlaner are dead. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm pushing this. So using my farm while auto attacking the tower, or like using my abilities to kill the waves while auto attacking the tower. And again, I just think to myself, who's going to respond to this? So now my teammates are getting fried in the mid lane, but I can just send on this. So there's not really a whole lot that they can do. So my teammates get absolutely destroyed, which is a little unfortunate, but I'm getting some kind of value. And this was already a play before I even knew my team was going to fight. So I wanted to go for more, but just looking at the Richter positioning, it's going to be about to be the same thing. Watch. You know, he's coming for me, sidestep, right? Like, it's, you just have to feel out that kind of CC. So really think about that whenever you know who you're playing against and like what they're capable of. I'm just gonna fully run out of here. You never know if someone's coming at a cutoff angle, like through the fog walls, if the people that were just killing my teammates in mid. So I'm just gonna go ahead and back around this corner. So we lost some teammates there. Luckily, there wasn't crazy implications of losing teammates there. If anything, you're just going to lose teammates and then they're going to catch up a little bit, but it's not too bad. So I have 1,500 gold. I might be waiting. I think I'm waiting to finish the Tainted Bastion. Yep, if I ever jump and do this, I'm waiting to finish an item. So we're probably within 50 gold, something like that. Yep. All right, 7-1-1, 134 farm to 135 farm on the Kalari. We have 3 completed items, and this is like the foundation of what we're building for this Bruiser rebuild, right? We have Tempest for health and staying power to heal ourselves a little bit. We have Worldbreaker to build the foundation of health, magic, power, tenacity with the Fiend passive, and then we have like double Tainteds to bring us that to that 12% mitigation on the Colossus passive, with armors for both physical, magic armor, health, that's going to scale up the damage of the Worldbreaker. So what you build after this is kind of up to you. You can go more tanky, you can go into damage items, I could go into pen, right? Like it's really up to you. So again, I see a couple kills traded on both sides of the team. I'm just seeing this potential push here. I really don't ever like brute force pushing something. Like if I'm pushing without like an objective down, it's usually not something I'm comfortable with, but that was just like a free tower that was like pretty low. So just kind of rotate my way out and I get to this jungle so I can take this camp. And we do have Fangtooth coming up. Usually in this section of a game, okay, so the Kalari kind of pops out at me and I'm actually not afraid, so because I'm pretty tanky. Now, when I see the Bellica, I'm thinking to myself, okay, not great. I need to flash. I saw the Narbash throw his dunk at me, and I just got to get out of here. So no potential, getting caught out. But I see my crunch go in, and I think, I don't know if I can help this. So I'm just kind of like wanting to help. Then the Muriel goes in, so I'm like, okay, I can go in now. So the Kalari dives in, and I actually love. Then the Gideon comes in. I love fighting Kalari with Shinbi. I think Shinbi kind of counters Kalari to a reasonable degree because you can really just stay in the fight. So I pop an ultimate, I grab 1 kill, and now I'm just chasing up on the Richter. He's gonna go ahead and pop his ult, and we go from there. I'm gonna be honest, I'm not sure if the spectator mode ever shows me Tempest, because there's been a couple fights where like Tempest is perfect and it doesn't appear that I use it, but I think that might be a bug, because I'm very confident in saying that I do use my Tempest. So we get some kills and I instantly back, and I remember I'm spam pinging Orb Prime. We have a window here. Let's stop that here. Let's go ahead, and I want to take this back a little bit. So this is really important when it comes to identifying windows, right? So let me take it back a little bit further. Okay, so this is the fight we have. We just get a double kill and I'm insta-basing. So let's look at what we've just created. We just got 3 kills with 34 seconds as the lowest timer. Look at my health bar. I'm low. What I'm going to do is I'm going to back here and I'm going to instantly spam Orb Prime. So like I'm already spamming it and telling my teammates what I want to do. And I'm just hoping that they do the same thing as me, right? Let's all back. Let's go Orb Prime. We have 34 seconds uncontested before they can, you know, do anything about this potential play. So we have a window here. And honestly, if Crunch was healthier, I probably wouldn't even back. I'd probably just stay. So we heal up and we go straight there, right? Some of our other teammates may not even need to back. Some of them might, like a little bit slower, but it's really not that big a deal. Me and Crunch can both jump the wall. So this is the play. And you just need, like, if you're doing a play like this, because we've already spent some time getting back to it, we just need to make sure that we have teammates that can commit to the play. So I really wish Sparrow would have been like right here immediately, because carries are really instrumental for capitalizing on windows of opportunity. But the Gideon comes over here. The Gideon actually jumps in and I think uses their ultimate, which I think is a good play. I don't remember if they do or not. But yeah, not having the Sparrow kind of makes this play a little bit scary, because they could run over. But you know, we're doing it, so perfect. All right, so now I'm instantly spamming Fangtooth, because we don't know if they're on Fangtooth. It's a very realistic possibility that they respawned and went straight to Fangtooth. This is Fang 3, so it's not super inconsequential to give this up, but it would also be nice to get it too for the sake of momentum. You know, oh, I remember seeing our Sparrow just like chilling in the middle of the lane by herself, and I'm thinking like, dude, you're gonna die. So I try to like help out the Sparrow and just poke at her and make sure that she's safe, pinch into her. I kind of remember feeling like my Sparrow didn't have the best positioning in the world, but I just go ahead and start this because it's pretty free. They can't really contest us with Orb on. We might as well get this. So I'm just pinging this, and then we have Orb probably for like an additional 2 minutes from here. So we go ahead and get our second Fangtooth. The next Fangtooth that will come up will be whatchamacallit, Primal, and our Sparrow goes to the duo lane solo. I actually think this is a terrible mistake. I think that the Kalari could go pick this off. I think that they could send a couple people to deal with her. I think that it kind of hurts our push because we just don't have our carry, but you know, you can't really do anything with what other players choose to do. So again, it's not the worst thing in the world, but what this is going to end up turning into is we can't siege without the Sparrow. So what's going to happen is we're going to end up just dancing, waiting for the Sparrow to push, which is totally fine. But I think that this, like, look at this setup, right? 4-1 split. You just do this differently. Either I go split or the Crunch goes and splits, and you keep the Sparrow with the pack. So this split is pretty bad, but it's not the end of the world, right? So what I do is I rotate over to the Sparrow, because we're not going to accomplish anything there. So I rotated the Sparrow to give her like a front line, like to give her some presence, so that way she can actually poke and hit the tower. And you'll see I'll hit the tower a little bit and I'll dash out, because I can't afford to get CC'd under the tower. And so this becomes the play, right? You see how we're swapping our split now, because it's like you really want to be with the carry whenever you do a play like this. But we're being patient, right? And this is important. Like, you don't have to full dive anything. You just be patient, and then at some point you can go in. All right, so clearing the waves, just trying to keep space for the. All right, now I go in, right? Like, now I go in. I'm trying to hit their back line. I start focusing the Murdoch. You can see, throw the fade away, kill the Murdoch, and now we peel back. They actually did pretty well in that fight. I'm gonna go ahead and start proxying this wave. Can't really get to the Belka without tower diving, so I'm just kind of waiting. The Crunch goes in early. All he had to do was wait for the wave, and so now I'll go for the Belka. Actually miss her a little bit here, but we throw the Q. We got her. All right. Now we've got a couple waves down. I don't know if we end here. I think we do. Yeah, I do think we end here. And there you have it, friends. So didn't get too much deeper in the build. I think I was going for Life Binder at that point, which is a pretty solid item for Shinbi. Brings more health as well. But Bruiser Shinbi build, pretty strong, especially depending on the team comp. Hopefully this was a fun video. Like I said, just kind of testing out the spectator view. We were able to go 10-1. We kind of kept it pretty decently consistent that game. We did have some teammates that were having a bit of a rough match, but we were able to kind of like keep it together. So a couple of misplays, especially with the smite on like the second Fang Tooth. I overstayed going too deep in the enemy jungle. That's definitely a problem that I have, but ultimately just showing off some Bruiser tank Shinbi, and hopefully it was something that you enjoyed. So drop a like on the video, leave me a comment in the comment section down below. What do you think of this kind of a video? Is this fun? Should I only post gameplays? Because I could just post this gameplay too, or I could review it from my own point of view. I think having the spectator tool is pretty cool. It doesn't, I don't know if it feels like it adds a ton to the VOD review, but it could potentially, because I can stop and pause things and rewind and stuff. So friends, thank you so much for watching. As always, be sure to tell one another, tell someone you love them. I'll see you on the next video.